How do you make your wife trust you again? Probably there has been certain amount of affair. Probably your wife had some expectations and you didn't live up to it, and she got upset along the way in the years of marriage that you were living in, and now your wife doesn't trust you. In this video, I'm going to give you step-by-step process to make your wife trust you again. Continue to watch this video. Hi, Coach Val here. I help men to transform their marriage, to bring back love into their marriage by teaching them relationship science. Before I jump into this video and teach you all about how do you build trust, a quick disclaimer. This particular video and all my videos are people who are there with an open mindset. That means that you want to learn because you want to understand how your action has created the reaction in your wife, and you want to change your wife's reaction by learning to change your own action. It is not for people who are haters, people who are closed mind, people with closed minds, because you will not get anything out of it. And with that, let us jump into this particular video. In this video, I'm going to cover two things. First, I'm going to talk about the emotional bank account. I'm going to explain this concept called emotional bank account with regard to building trust, and then I'm going to talk about the strategy. This emotional bank account concept, I got it from reading Stephen Covey's book. And in this book, he talks about how each one of us have an emotional bank inside us. So let me explain step by step what an emotional bank is and how do you open this account. So let's start with the simple concept, simple thing to understand. Imagine that inside each one of us, we have an emotional bank. All right. And every person that we meet opens an account in this bank. And how does he open that account? By depositing what I call it as love rupees. So how does a person deposit love rupees? It is if the person does anything that makes us feel these five things. The first thing is I matter to this person. The second thing is this person is there for me. The third thing is this person thinks that I am good. The fourth is this person thinks that I am right. And the fifth one is this person thinks that I am a wonderful human being. So anytime someone makes me feel this way, they open an emotional bank account in my heart. All right. So the first time when you met your wife, that's exactly what happened. So when you met your wife for the first time, let's come here. What happened was you started speaking to each other. All right. And as you started speaking to each other, there was a lot of depositing that happened. How did this depositing happen? Through your conversation, probably your wife was asking you about your hobbies, and you started sharing your hobbies, and your wife listened. And through her listening, she made you to feel that she matters to you. Probably she shared her point of view and you agreed with her perspective. Probably she said that after marriage, I want to work. And you said, no problem, I'm there on your side. You made her feel that you're there for her. And this way, you started depositing into her emotional bank account. And then came a point where the bank account had or the money in this bank account had grown so much that she said to you that I want to get married to you. Now, generally, that's how we get married. All right. There's a certain amount of trust that is built by depositing from either side. It's from both sides. And then we come to a point that I can trust you so much to live my life with you. And then what happened was, then the next thing happened in your marriage, and it's supposed to happen. There is nothing wrong with it. And that is called withdrawal. That's called withdrawal. And when does that withdrawal happens? It happens during the power struggle stage. And what is the power struggle stage? I talk about it in depth in the masterclass that I do, live masterclass that I do. I'm leaving the link on the video out here as well as in the description. All that you have to do is go to coachval.co, go there and sign up for this masterclass. And very quickly, what is the power struggle stage? Power struggle stage is a stage that comes after the romance stage. One of the things many of us don't know is that no matter who you get married, no matter how many times you get married, your power struggle stage is supposed to end. And when no matter who you get married, no matter how many times you get married, your romance stage is supposed to end and the power struggle stage begins. And during the power struggle stage, unconsciously we start withdrawing. Let's say my wife says that we are going out at 5 o'clock. You come at 5 o'clock. And because I don't realize this, because I have a lot of work, and because I'm not educated in the field of relationship science, I just take it for granted. Probably I consider my meetings, my job is more important than my wife. So I'm not there at 5. What did I make her feel? I made her feel that she doesn't matter to me. In other words, I withdrew some love rupees that I had deposited earlier, probably before marriage or probably during marriage. And then what does she do? Every action has equal and opposite reaction. She says to me, "Why are you late?" And that very tone of saying communicates to me that you're not a right person. You're not a good person. You have made a mistake. And by making me feel that way, she withdrew some amount, some love rupees. And then we have a fight. And through that fight, no matter what we say, no matter what we communicate, basically we keep telling the other person that you don't matter to me, I'm not there for you, or you're not good, right, or wonderful human being. And that way we start withdrawing. And when we start withdrawing, just imagine that you're working, you have a huge amount in a particular bank, and the manager is very happy with you. And then you start withdrawing and comes to a point where it goes to the deficit. Now the bank manager will not be very happy. That means the trust is broken. The trust is broken. So this is the way we deposit and withdraw. Now, if you have understood this concept, now let's move to the next part. Okay. Now, what I want you to understand right now is that what has happened in your marriage is no mystery. It is basically that you got married because both of you started depositing. You started falling apart because both of you started withdrawing. Why both of you? Because every action has equal and opposite reaction. Now, the next part is, what is the strategy to bring back trust? What is the strategy? I spoke about the 5 things. Now, let us come into the strategy. The first strategy, or the most important don't, is don't tell your wife to trust you. Now, before I move on to the next point, there's something that I want to make it very clear. The amount of withdrawal that happens with a particular act is different for different acts. Let's say I come home late. I told her that I'm going to be there on time and I'm 2 hours late. I withdrew some amount of love rupees, let's say 100 or 1000 love rupees. But if I'm having an affair and my wife found out that I was lying to her all these years or all these months, then I withdrew lakhs of rupees. So that's a very important thing we got to understand. With every action that I do or every word that I say, there's a certain amount of withdrawal that happens, and it differs from action to action, the things that are said. Okay, the conversations to conversation. Now, that brings us to the point of what can you do? Probably you are at a place that your wife says that you're mama's boy, you're never going to change. I don't trust you. And you tell her that I'm changing, I'm being a better person. So the first thing is, don't tell your wife or don't convince your wife that you can be trusted. You can be trusted. Now, it sounds very, it doesn't make sense. Many people say that, how will my wife know that I've changed if I don't tell her that I've stopped this affair? How will my wife know that I have become a better person if I don't tell her that I've become a better person? The answer is very simple. If you are a bad speaker, okay, and people hate your speech, and then you go for some course, you learn things, and you become a very good public speaker. Now, would you go to people and tell them that you have become very good public speaker because of some course that you have gone through, or you give a speech? You give a speech, right? So what does it mean? That you don't have to tell your wife that you have become trustworthy if you have actually become trustworthy. Your wife will be able to pick it up. So one thing that you shouldn't do is tell your wife that you have changed. Tell your wife that your divorce, your affair is over. Tell your wife that you are no more that old person. If you are no more that old person, she will notice. You just have to demonstrate those behaviors. And that leads us to the second point, and that is the do is deposit. Deposit love rupees. And how do you deposit love rupees? By creating positive experiences. And that's what you did at the beginning of your marriage. There is no mystery, there is no magic to marriage as people consider it. Why did you fall in love in the first place? Is because of you creating and she reciprocating to those positive experiences. You used to call her up, you used to ask about her problem, you listened to her problems, you used to be there for her, you did 101 things. And of course, she also reciprocated, because every action has equal and opposite reaction. The same way, you got to create positive experiences. And with every positive experience that you create, you come a step closer, a step closer, a step closer, a step closer. And as you're doing this, there is one thing that's very important that you got to remember, is that if there was something in particular that you have been doing that has broken this trust, let's take an example of an affair, or you have taken a big loan and you had not told her. All right. So let's take, for the time being, for us to understand that an affair. Now, an affair is attached or associated to certain behaviors. There are certain behaviors which are associated with an affair. So what are the behaviors? Hiding the phone, talking very softly, getting out of the table. If you're sitting at the table to eat something, you're having your meals and you're getting out and going to a corner and talking. You're locking your phone. Now, these are the behaviors that are associated with an affair. Now, if you have stopped that affair, the one way your wife will know that you have stopped that affair is because you have stopped the behaviors that are associated with that particular action. That's how she will know. It means that don't lock your phone. Leave your phone around. Don't talk at the table. Because what is there to hide it? If you are not doing something, then what is there to hide it? Now, that is just one example. You think about all the other examples. So that is one more thing. To boil down, to summarize everything that I'm saying, is that you got to create positive experiences. In our community, there are men where there was a time their wife clearly told them that I don't trust you anymore. I don't believe that you can change. I don't believe that we can have a great marriage. This marriage is over. I don't trust you. And the same woman today is saying that no, we can have a great marriage. What changed is not their wife. What changed is not they try to convince their wife. What changed is their action. When they learned relationship, understood what their action that was creating this reaction of their wife not trusting them, they changed that action. So that's all for this particular video. If you learned something new in this video, just go to the comment section and write down one thing that you have learned. And there are many more videos that are coming up. As soon as this video ends, continue to watch the upcoming videos. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead, subscribe, click on that bell icon, like the video if you liked it, if you liked this video, and share it with somebody who might need to hear this at this moment, because there are a lot of men who are struggling in their marriage, and what they need is awareness of relationship science. So if there is somebody in your life, your friend, your colleague, your relative, a man who is struggling with this area of trust, then please go ahead and share this video. Until we connect again in the next video, as always, keep your love story alive. Bye-bye.